It may surprise you to hear this, but if you're seeing this right now, it's no coincidence. The efforts you've made behind the scenes have truly paid off. Those who doubted you are now learning firsthand how karma works. If you watch for at least 12 minutes, you're signaling that you're ready to embrace every part of the positive transformation coming your way. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment 77 to show the universe you're open. Then leave another comment. Ready for what's next in my own town. By doing this, you welcome immediate, tangible benefits and step into a new season of change. Chapter 1. He reached the breaking point but didn't break for a long time. You endured disrespect, betrayal, or even outright sabotage from certain individuals. You may have felt an urge to retaliate, to prove your worth, or to give them a taste of their own medicine. But something, perhaps a higher guidance, held you back from sinking to their level. You prayed, maybe shed tears, yet you remained composed, trusting that justice would come in due time. And it did. Those who spread negativity are now facing the consequences, stunned that karma reached them so directly. Meanwhile, you struggled with the temptation to strike back, to unleash your anger, or to seek revenge in small ways. The weight of their actions made your emotions almost unbearable, but each time you were on the verge of lashing out, you sensed a quiet reminder that those who are chosen don't operate from the same negativity. Instead, you transformed your pain into prayer and held on to the truth that justice is inevitable. As it was once declared, vengeance is mine. You had no illusions that you were perfect. You simply refused to become what you despised. This refusal to descend into bitterness carved out an aura of resilience. People observing your struggles, maybe coworkers or family, started wondering how you kept so composed when life spit on your kindness. Even you questioned your endurance at times. But that calm resilience served a purpose. It elevated you above the petty conflict, allowing your moral compass to remain intact, while the seeds of negativity your adversaries planted began to grow into a harvest of their own making. Now, as karma returns to their doorstep, you feel a mixture of relief and awe, not gloating, but a deep assurance that your faith in higher justice wasn't naive. They see it too. Some may even approach you with apologies or half-hearted excuses, stunned that what they dished out boomeranged back. You realize this was never about punishing them personally. It was about preserving your integrity. And look at you now, standing upright, untainted by petty feuds, stepping further into your calling while they grapple with the ripple effect of their actions. If a sense of triumph arises, allow it, but keep it humble. Nothing cements your spiritual growth like handling vindication with grace. God sees that He didn't let them drag you down, which means you're ready for an elevation in your mission. What you witnessed is only one sign that your quiet faith was more potent than their noise. You were tested, you passed. Now enjoy the subtle shifts in fortune as the universe blesses your stance of non-retaliation. Meanwhile, their new belief in karma isn't your responsibility to guide. It's a consequence of their own choices, leaving you free to rise, unburdened. Chapter 2. Your pain catalyzed the moral upgrade. Before all this, you might have questioned your own moral stance, wondering if being too nice invited disrespect. Many told you that you must become ruthless to survive, but you tried that attitude briefly, only to feel how it corroded your essence. So you returned to your inherent decency, even when it cost you. That choice, to remain morally anchored, especially when you felt cornered, now stands vindicated. If you had matched their negativity, you'd be caught in the same karmic net. Instead, you soared above it, letting God handle the balancing of scales. Your spiritual system leveled up, forging a refined sense of right and wrong that doesn't need applause or immediate gratification. It's not about flaunting righteousness. It's about a humble certainty that positive actions ultimately yield positive outcomes. Such a moral upgrade isn't naive or gullible. It's a higher consciousness perspective that sees beyond immediate gains or petty triumphs. Only someone who wrestled with despair can arrive here, forging a moral steel no casual challenge can bend. Think about how each betrayal shook your trust. Each disappointment could have locked your heart behind bitterness, but you refused that path. You let the pain process, let your tears flow, and sought the lesson hidden in the heartbreak. Each time your capacity for empathy expanded, your insight sharpened. Now, not only do you read people better, but you also move through challenges with an internal compass that points you away from shame or regret. That compass is your advantage in a world that thrives on manipulations. Some might label you lucky for dodging karma's harsh lessons. They failed to realize luck played no part. You made this outcome by deliberately choosing not to indulge in the same destructive patterns your enemies embraced. Your moral fiber is thus proven under fire, not just in mild tests. This strength sets you apart as a chosen one, someone who can hold power or influence without succumbing to corruption. The Matrix relies on moral compromise to keep people stuck. You overcame that tactic, leaving illusions powerless over your soul. The result is an ironclad trust in your own capacity to handle adversity. No smear campaign, no rumor, no hidden scheme can truly uproot you because your moral position provides a stable foundation. That's why you sleep peacefully at night, immune to paranoia about who's out to get you next. You trust that if you stay aligned, the universe checks any false narratives or malicious plots. This unshakable calm sets you free to chase bigger dreams, unburdened by fear of sabotage. So celebrate the moral evolution birthed by your pain. Recognize that your new vantage is priceless. Others pay fortunes for therapy or spiritual retreats, trying to reach the clarity you gained the hard way. Now you brandish a moral clarity that draws favorable energies and supportive alliances, ensuring your future steps ring with authenticity and unstoppable progress. Chapter 3. You learn to channel anger into productive fuel. One thing that stands out is how you handled anger. Emotions can be explosive when you're constantly provoked, belittled, or undermined. But instead of letting rage consume your judgment, you funneled it into building your future. Each insult or sabotage stoked a quiet determination, firing you, compelling you to refine your skill, your network, your discipline. In doing so, you turn potential destruction into constructive power. This approach differentiates you from those who self-sabotage once anger gets the best of them. Because you mastered transmuting rage into drive, you advance rapidly where others stalled. They sank in resentment, replaying their grievances. You use that same energy to push through your creative blocks, your professional hurdles. It's a technique that required unwavering focus. Each time fury boiled up, you reminded yourself, this can either eat me alive or propel me. That mantra broke the matrix, which is designed to feed off your negative emotions. Flipping the script in your favor, now, as your enemies or naysayers witness the karmic backlash, they realize their attempts to harm you only boosted your momentum. It's the ultimate irony. Every sabotage attempt inadvertently contributed to your rise. They intended to break you but ended up donating free fuel to your ambition. This realization might leave them regretful or even spooked. Watching you thrive after they tried to drag you down forces them to accept the reality of karma. What they sowed returned multiplied, shaping their current predicament. Meanwhile, you've grown adept at controlling emotional outbursts. This doesn't mean you never feel anger. You simply wield it like a tool rather than letting it rule you. That mastery of the emotion not only protects your peace, but also fosters an environment where your gifts and passions can flourish without internal chaos. When challenges arise, you respond with poise, transforming potential tantrums into unstoppable momentum. That consistent alchemy of negativity into progress has become your trademark. In practical terms, this skill influences every dimension of your life: work, relationships, personal development. People sense your composure and potency, which draws them in. They interpret it as confidence or even cool-headed leadership, never guessing it's fueled by disciplined emotional transmutation. The Matrix tries to exploit anger, turning it into impulsive actions or self-doubt. You've robbed it of that weapon, and in doing so, you ascend to a state where your feelings serve your goals instead of undermining them. Hence, your ongoing success story arises partly from this lesser talked about skill, channeling anger productively. When combined with your moral evolution and the unwavering faith you cling to, it cements a path no adversity can derail. In the face of each challenge, you say, thanks for the extra motivation, while your spirit surges forward. And that's exactly how the universe intended it, ensuring that hatred or malice aimed your way becomes the very rocket fuel for your destiny. Chapter 4. You witness their shift from mockery to fear. Nothing validates your perseverance quite like seeing those who once belittled you become uneasy as your star begins to rise. Their mockery morphs into forced politeness or outright avoidance. They sense an energy shift they can't fully explain, leaving them uncertain how to handle the new you. Some even scurry to rectify past wrongs, sensing karmic tides turning in your favor and bracing for repercussions of their past actions. They believed in ego, but they didn't truly believe in a grand moral order until now. For them, this is a crash course in humility. They see you, someone they underestimated, elevated through divine alignment and sheer grit. They can't figure out how you overcame every pitfall they threw at you. The Matrix taught them that cunning wins, that stepping on others is just how the game is played. But here you stand, your integrity intact, your success growing, your peace unshattered. Their worldview trembles before the undeniable evidence that faith and decency are stronger than underhanded tactics. This shift doesn't make you gloat. In fact, you feel a calm compassion, knowing they face the consequences they once laughed off. It's not your job to punish them. The universe is handling that. Your role is to keep shining, letting them observe how chosen ones progress by grace rather than by cruelty. Some might secretly envy your clarity or yearn to replicate your path. Whether they choose to learn or remain stuck is their free will. You remain an example that ignoring karma is a costly gamble. So expect awkward interactions or stilted offers of reconciliation. If your gut signals genuine remorse, you may accept an olive branch. If it seems manipulative, your discernment will guide you to maintain a cordial distance. The Matrix hopes you either succumb to revenge or yield to their control. You do neither. Instead, you hold your head high, forging ahead, letting your success illustrate the principle they denied. What goes around truly does come around. Watching their fear unfold might evoke mixed emotions. Some relief, a dash of vindication, maybe sadness at how illusions led them astray. But keep your heart soft. You overcame bitterness for a reason. There's no need to rub salt in their wounds. If they approach respectfully, you can show grace. If they attempt to sabotage you again, you swiftly identify the pattern and disengage. Maintaining your integrity through these transitions sets you apart as more than a victor. It solidifies your status as an ascending light who refuses to compromise compassion. In short, their shift from mockery to fear confirms that the universe never forgot your tears or prayers. It simply waited for the perfect timing to unveil the truth of your resilience. Let them wrestle with karma's lessons. You stay the course, your legacy becoming a living testament. No matter how the Matrix tries to paint you, God's plan and your unwavering spirit shall prevail, leaving detractors either humbled or hopelessly confounded. Chapter 5. You reap the first signs of blessed momentum ever since you confronted adversity with grace. Subtle clues have signaled positive momentum. Maybe a random payment arrived when you needed it most, or you received the call offering an opportunity that aligns beautifully with your gifts. These tidbits aren't flukes. They mark the universe's shift to bless your unwavering stance. Each small gain provides hope that bigger breakthroughs loom just around the corner, and indeed they do. This building momentum accelerates once you trust it. Doubt slows the wave, while acceptance amplifies it. So each time you see a small sign, like a compliment from a previously indifferent boss or a social media post that addresses a question you silently asked, embrace it as evidence of a bigger storyline unfolding. That posture of expectancy fosters a spiritual synergy. You no longer question if blessings are real. You position yourself to grab them fully. As momentum grows, your energy changes. Tasks that felt burdensome or lonely suddenly become lighter, like you've tapped an unending reservoir of help. It's not that life becomes effortless, but you see results multiply from your efforts. A day's work yields a week's worth of achievements. That's how the universe rewards consistent faith. It condenses the timeline of success, letting you accomplish in months what others strain for over years. Some call it acceleration, others call it favor. Either way, it's a hallmark of chosen ones on the rise. You also find your circle expanding or evolving. Kindred spirits who share your high vibration appear, while negative influences fade. Collaborations feel less forced, more organic. You get introduced to people who open doors you didn't know existed. This synergy further propels your climb, reinforcing that you're past the hard luck chapter you once inhabited. The Matrix tries to keep souls isolated and suspicious, but your rising momentum fosters unity, bridging you to networks that elevate your mission. Let your gratitude match each sign of progress. Gratitude isn't just polite sentiment. It's an energetic language that tells the universe you're ready for more. Complacency, on the other hand, can jam the flow. So keep praising God for each mile you advance, no matter how small. That consistent recognition of grace ensures your blessings multiply rather than stall. And if a hiccup appears along the path, you face it with calm resilience, knowing one setback can't overturn a tidal wave of favor. So yes, these initial glimpses of upward trajectory aren't just good luck. They are the foundations you built in adversity. Now they support a new level of productivity, creativity, and spiritual maturity. Each day that passes, you sense less friction and more ease. In essence, you're reaping seeds sown in tears. With every sprout of promise, you're entering a harvest season unlike anything you've known. And as momentum gathers, you realize with awe that you've only tapped the surface of what's possible when your faith meets divine orchestration. Chapter 6. You channel this triumph into service. Victory can easily become self-serving if unchecked, but your trials ingrained in you a sense of purpose beyond personal gain. Now that you're entering a season of favor, you feel an internal nudge to use your platform, resources, or influence to serve others still stuck in illusions or oppression. This isn't an obligation. Present. It's a calling you embrace because you know what it's like to feel trapped, unheard, or undervalued. Your success story can be a lifeline to those who see no light yet. Service doesn't always mean dramatic gestures. It might be offering mentorship to someone lost in confusion, volunteering for a cause aligned with your core values, or simply sharing your story in ways that heal and inspire. By doing so, you broadcast the truth that heartbreak can birth resilience, betrayal can spark discernment, and unstoppable fortune can follow unwavering faith. The Matrix hates such testimonies because they reveal people's capacity to transcend fear-driven cycles. Moreover, channeling your triumph into service helps you stay grounded. Victory can tempt you into ego or complacency, but consistent compassion protects you from that downfall. Each time you extend a helping hand, you revisit the empathy formed by your struggles. This keeps your heart soft, your perspective broad. Thus, you harness success not as a trophy, but as a tool, furthering humanity's collective awakening. That synergy deepens the universe's trust in you, amplifying blessings, for you're proven as a steward who uplifts others rather than merely yourself. People may find it contradictory that someone who overcame so much negativity can still muster generosity. They don't grasp that adversity, when faced with God's grace, often unlocks deep compassion. You know exactly how it feels to be at rock bottom, how a small act of kindness can restore hope. That memory fuels your willingness to reach out to those who scoff at your achievements or remain indifferent. Mercy doesn't demand applause. It's the natural overflow of a heart that overcame darkness through love. This approach also cements your legacy. While short-lived success might fade into obscurity, a life of impact resonates beyond your immediate circle. You might help someone who becomes a significant leader later, or fund a project that revolutionizes a community. The possibilities are endless when you're open to letting blessings flow through you instead of merely to you. This selfless stance paradoxically keeps your well from running dry. Giving fosters more receiving, a principle the Matrix tries to suppress to maintain scarcity mindsets. Thus, your next phase isn't just about reveling in personal fortune, it's about transitioning from survival mode to purposeful mode, ensuring your gifts and triumphs serve a grander narrative. By doing so, you remain unstoppable. The universe loves a conduit that cycles blessings outward. Every act of service you render cements your position in a cosmic network that replenishes givers, guaranteeing that your newly found abundance endures. multiplied by every life you touch. Chapter 7. You anchor in the new season of fulfillment. Having arrived at this juncture, you sense a profound settling in your spirit. The storms that tested you, the karmic forces that realign themselves, the momentum now on your side, all converge into a new reality where your role is clear. You stand as a living testament that trust in God, moral fortitude, and refusal to bow to negativity bring forth unstoppable favor. This is your season of fulfillment, a time to not just breathe relief, but to lay lasting foundations for the next levels. Each morning, you wake with deeper clarity about your purpose, creative, entrepreneurial, or spiritual. The mental clutter is gone. You perceive your next steps with a calm, unshakable focus. That clarity radiates confidence, naturally attracting the alliances and resources you require. Unneeded pressures and superficial obligations melt away, allowing you to devote energy to the pursuits that resonate with your highest calling. Such alignment is the hallmark of chosen ones who have endured trials and now step into their rightful inheritance. You notice that people might envy your sudden shift, but you know it's the fruit of a silent, often lonely journey. Remind yourself daily of the lessons that shaped you. By remaining anchored in gratitude and reflection, you shield yourself from the pride that can corrode genuine progress. The storms taught you humility. You realize how swiftly circumstances can revert if you stray from your ethical grounding. Yet that realization doesn't stifle your celebration. Instead, you rejoice with a sober joy, fully aware that this blessing emerged from a partnership between your steadfast dedication and divine grace. At the same time, you recognize the vigilance required in a season of fulfillment. When blessings multiply, it's easy to relax and switch to autopilot, but your spirit understands that every day in this new reality is an opportunity to plant fresh seeds for future growth. You strengthen connections with those who share your vision, honing your communication and leadership skills to handle opportunities with wisdom. You deepen your relationship with God, ensuring that your moral compass stays aligned with higher principles. This commitment guarantees that your fulfillment isn't just fleeting joy, but a solid foundation that sustains you through the chapters ahead. Since life never stops testing, even at new heights, take a moment to feel your heart swelling with anticipation. The next time adversity arises, you won't falter. Instead, you'll recognize it as an opportunity for another step upward, a deeper well of wisdom, or an even greater capacity for love. That's the strength you've gained in your identity as a chosen one, fully embracing a future shaped by divine orchestration rather than external limits. You can step into tomorrow not with worry, but with the unwavering expectation that more wonders and revelations await. As you move forward, understand that the trust you've built with God serves as a gateway to extraordinary possibilities. The universe's storehouse is open, unlocking doors once thought impossible. With each step of faith, you push past previous limits, and each victory becomes a guiding light for others. You, dear soul, walk ahead with a radiant confidence that withstands any storm or shadow. Your very life a testament to what divine favor can achieve when a heart stays anchored in truth.